Hi everyone, it's Jen, and I'm going to show you how to get started with Notepad to create your first HTML file and your first web page. The first thing that we're going to do is open up this app called Notepad. So head over to your Start menu, and of course, your menu should be alphabetic, but if you cannot find it under N, I see I have Notepad++, but not Notepad, and we're going to stick with Notepad this time. Um, uh, if you do not find it under N for Notepad, you can look under the Windows accessories. So under W, and go ahead and open that up, and that's where you can find all sorts of things like Paint and Snipping Tool and stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my Notepad, and I have a blank file here. Now, what you're first going to notice about this app is that there's not much to it. You see you've got a file menu. You can open, new, save as, print, etc. Copy, paste, delete, find. Not much into formatting. You can change the font here, change your view, and ask for help. That is it. And the reason why we're using Notepad for this particular tutorial is because it is so plain. We're going to go ahead and code in HTML, and just think about it for a minute. If we typed in all those symbols and pieces of text into a Word document, you're going to get a lot of corrections on there. You're going to get squiggly lines and spelling error notifications and all sorts of stuff. So we just want to keep this really simple so that we can edit. The other thing that I want to do, because I like to see really big, I'm going to change the font size. Now, the font size here is going to be 11 by default, and I like to see really big on my screen, so I'm going to change it to size 16. This has no effect whatsoever of what your web page looks like. Nothing. It's just like zooming in Word, and it allows you to see your font in a bigger size. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And if you want it really big, you could go ahead and change it to 22 or something like that. I'm going to go ahead and start with that. So I have an untitled notepad, and the first thing I'm going to do is save this. And because we always want to save while we're working. And I've already created a folder for this week's module. If you haven't already, you should. So I'm going to go to Save As. And I'm going to navigate to where I have my work saved. Let's see, I have HTML lab already here in my module 14. I've got more PowerPoint HTML. And what I want you to immediately notice is the file type here. Now, we've saved files as PDFs, we've saved files as Word documents, as Excel files, all sorts of stuff. What we're going to do is we're going to click in front of here, and we're going to get rid of that little asterisk there, and I'm going to go ahead and type in index. Because we're going to make kind of a default index file. And this is going to have our 10 basic tags that we're going to use. And I'm going to also create a folder for it to go in so I could use it later. I'm going to create a new folder and call that index. And now I've created a new folder. I can go inside of it. Always love that. Unlike when you have to buy real folders, you can just create these and go right inside. So now I have a folder called index in my HTML lab, and I have a file called index. And I'm going to go ahead and click save. I don't have anything in there yet. Now we're going to go ahead and start typing the code. You can space these items apart. You can pause this video. You can look at the instructions in the PDF or on Canvas to type this in. But what we've done here is we've typed in these angle brackets around each tag. And in our first tag, we have angle bracket, exclamation point, doc type, because this is the document type we're creating, HTML, and we close it with another angle bracket. Then we have our opening tag for HTML and our closing tag at the bottom for HTML. In the middle here, we have our meta tag, which defines the character set that our file will appear in. So this file is going to be using English language or Romance language letters that are used in Spanish, English, German, French, etc. And that's what you want to type in. So if you need to pause it for a second, go right ahead and pause. If you'd like, you can include some extra space in between your tags if it makes it easier to read. And if you're anything like me, where you are a letter flipper, you flip your letters around, or you have any types of issues with typing, make sure that you're typing this in very carefully. Notice these are L's. The font is a little bit weird. These are not ones. Make sure that your angle brackets are facing in the correct direction. Make sure that you have your quotes and your dashes and all of your letters correct, because that's really important when you're writing code. I'll see you in the next video when we go ahead and add in some more tags. But before we go, make sure that you go ahead and save your updated version or do Control S. See you in the next video.